DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Media Mash, a roundtable of Cowboys insiders dropping wisdom and offering sizzling takes on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys. Now, your host, Newy Scruggs.
Media Mash, everybody, let's ride. As the Cowboys get ready to face the Lions Saturday night at Jerry World, Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor induction ceremony. It's going to be a special night. Cowboys 6-point favorite. Let's talk about this with our favorite writers. We got Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star Telegram. I know. Iceman.
Listen, I'm like, what are we doing here?
This is for Detroit. This is funeral for Detroit on Saturday.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah. Okay, I had some events to do earlier. I just was looking cool, so hey.
Okay, all right. Clarence Hill, glad to see you in here today. Last night, I was jealous. I was watching the First Responder Bowl.
Were you?
You were at the game. My best friend was at the game. He went to Texas State, and I was just looking out there at the crowd at Ford Field. I was like, man, it's like, hey, people just showed up out there.
Well, Texas State showed up. Texas State was their first ever bowl. One former 1AA school, moved up to Division I and got to a bowl game. And their fans, not only did they show up, but I don't know if you saw some of the stats today, but they drank the stadium out of beer.
But that's what they do at Texas State.
And then they stormed the field. But Texas State has always been a party school. Yeah, they stormed the field after the game, yes. Texas State has always been a party school. It's one of the top party schools in the country, and they showed up and partied and played well and beat my Rice Owls.
And they should enjoy that because G.J. Kinney, their coach, he's not for long because he's good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Because UTSA guy, we kept hearing he was not for long, and he's still a UTSA. So,
well, this dude's younger. That's why I said that. Plus, I remember when he was a recruiting quarterback.
I remember when he was in high school.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out.
I remember. I remember he was in high school, and and he was at Texas and different things like that.
He was at Texas.
Yeah.
Doing what?
On the team as a quarterback, recruit.
Really?
Yeah.
Then he transferred.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I never knew he was at Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I follow recruiting very closely, and I remember him coming out of high school. So
I remember coming out of high school.
Browns was in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot of folks in Texas.
Browns was in Texas too.
Yes, he was a receiver though. He wasn't a quarterback.
Yep. Yep. Todd Dodge, Riley died. He was over there.
He went to Texas.
Yep.
Did he play at all?
Receiver.
No, he transferred. And went to go with his dad. So hey, look, a lot of guys start there.
I mean, it's like there's a lot of guys start there.
Well, I mean, when you them coaches' sons, it's kind of
they take care of them.
Well, they take care of them, but they're not on that next level of talent.
That's why they
coach, which is why they coaching, okay? Which is why they all coach.
Preferred walk-off.
They went all to the family business. They all returned to the family business, okay?
Right.
And Kenny was the coach's son too.
Yes. All right. So anyway, like I said, I was jealous that you got on out there. I was like, man, I should have gone to the game, but it also was cold, so I'm not really trying to be cold out there.
Yeah, it was colder than I expected, because it went down. But we survived. It had a good time. First half was close. Second half was not so much, but. I had to stay to the end because my daughter was cheerleading, so I couldn't leave early, like a lot of Rice fans did.
But Rice at bowl game, that used not happen. So
this is back-to-back bowls. They've been in it before. This is Texas State first bowl. This is old hat for Rice.
I said
I was with you till you said old hat.
It's old hat.
So the one thing that did surprise me, and you just hit me about Texas State. I forgot my time when I worked in Austin. Many times on 6th Street, you meet people.
San Marcos, yeah.
But you thought they were Texas students.
Oh, yeah.
And then you later on find out.
Yeah. Listen.
No, she don't go to Texas. She's down there in San Marcos. Got food.
Party in San Marcos.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? We can't get to Texas. This is the closest thing we can do. We can say we go down here, then we're going to run up here on 6th Street.
That's why you can't find her.
You can party in Austin.
Right. There you go. So that's the one of the small good things about going to a place like that. So all good. All right, Cowboys facing the Lions on Sunday. Can you give me an update on my man, 77 Tyron Smith?
Well, I mean, he went to the walkthrough yesterday. That's a good sign. The Cowboys are hopeful that he has a chance to go. Because Chuma Doga really let them down. He had early in the season he played decently. in place of Tyron Smith, but he was a problem. Not just physically, but the communication, just missing blocks and not blocking guys. You don't
letting dudes run free.
Yeah, just letting guys run free. And so this is definitely a different offense with Tyron on the field, and they definitely need him on the field. But, again, it's a back. Backs are tricky. And so, Jerry talked about on the radio about them shooting him up and all this other stuff, so that they're still managing that. They're hopeful that he can go, and they want him to play because they need to win this game, but nothing's set in stone as of yet.
Okay. Matt Willetsko has been activated off the injured reserve list, and Rashaan Evans has been cut after his arrest by the Frisco police on Tuesday for marijuana.
It's two things there, because did they cut him because of the weed? I mean, Sam Williams had some stuff in his car. He didn't get cut. They cut him for the weed.
They needed linebacker help, and he ain't help.
They needed linebacker help. He didn't help, and they needed a roster spot. So you gave him an excuse to find his roster spot.
Right. We might have found it anyway.
Yeah, you gave him an excuse to find his roster spot, and that's really what it was, because because Chuma got banged up a little in that game, and they need Willetsko. They may need his depth. And they value that backup tackle over a linebacker who was supposed to give you some experience, give you some size at your weakest position, and has not played. He has played no defensive snaps in 2 of the past 3 games. None. He's played some special team snaps, and that's not what you want from an old linebacker to play special teams. You didn't sign him for special teams. You signed him for defense. And he's giving you nothing on defense, and the Cowboys are going to continue to go with this basically a nickel defense. The sub-package defense is their base defense. But that's one reason why they went after Shaq Leonard. I mean, when Shaq Leonard was free, is one reason why. Well, everybody was talking about what he wasn't. He was still more than what the Cowboys had. What you got. And they had a vision for how they would use him, especially his size. And we know, the weakness of this defense is stop and run, and you have small linebackers, and that's a problem. It's been a problem the last few weeks. It's going to be a problem in the playoffs if they don't find a way to at least get the lead on offense and make teams have to throw, to catch up. But those tight games, December, January, playoff games, you have to be able to stop the run, and the Cowboys have not done that.
Speaking of the run, Jamar Gibbs, 872 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 910 yards of rushing, 11 touchdowns. That's what comes the Cowboys' way on Sunday. Dallas, a 6-point favorite. How do you see this run game for Detroit versus this Cowboys defense, Jacques Taylor?
Throw the coach in there, too. They're going to punish him on the run. Or they're going to attempt to.
They're going to attempt to, yeah.
And, man, excuse me, I put this out on Twitter earlier, and I ain't breaking no news. But the Cowboys are playing. Somebody said, "Well, they just got these little guys, and they play the way they play, which is their philosophy is grab the lead early, put this pressure on you, make you throw, make you feel like you have to shoot it out with us." Much like, and I use the analogy in a very broad sense, much like when the Suns had D'Antoni, and they shot all these threes, they get up and down the court, they want you to, hey, that was pretty easy, and sooner or later they better at it than you are. And so they get you into their game. So they're willing to give up some points and some other things to get you into their game where you feel like you got to throw, because running requires patience and some other things. And if we don't get it, now they up again. Now it's all good when it works and when it don't.
Louis,
I do like your analogy. I would just pump the brakes. They're not willing to give up points. They're willing to give up yards. Dan Quinn ain't willing to give up points.
No,
they're not trying to give up points.
They want you to throw because you feel this innate pressure. Like if we don't score, they're gonna be back down here scoring.
One thing I learned in the locker room today, talking to Osa Odigizua, it was funny because. We were in the press box in Miami, and the guy couldn't say Odigizua. He said, "Also, no diggity." And we all lived.
No diggity, no dog.
And so we started singing the song. No diggity. So that's how sad everybody was singing the song. Right. Anyway, so that's kind of.
Did Todd know?
Todd's Camilo. You pop head. Don't sleep on Todd.
He's a Beastie Boys guy.
Don't sleep on Todd. But so it was kind of fun.
New edition, but he a New Edition Boston guy?
Yeah, he's a New Edition Boston guy.
AP Skylar Dixon didn't know.
AP's not in my head now.
Can I tell my lies?
Oh my God. Anyway, so talking to Osa, the
no diggity.
They understand. Yeah, no diggity, no doubt. they understand the challenge of the Detroit run game, and they run for a lot of yards, but they think they have a better opportunity to slow this run game down because they don't put all the bells and whistles. They have a traditional pro-style rushing attack, and they don't have all the eye candy that Miami has. So they won't be confused, and, this looks like that. It's going to be something else, okay? Miami
line up and stop.
They lines up, and so it's easier for them to key to their fundamentals and their keys and stop the run. So that's why, Curse, we say that Detroit is still the second best rushing offense in the league. They still got guys run, but from a Cowboys strategic standpoint, they feel they have a better chance of slowing them down because they don't do all the eye candy stuff.
And the fact that you've got a really good Detroit offensive line. You got two guys, your center and then Penei Sewell, the tackle, probably will end up being all pro players this year. Yeah,
no doubt. We talk about, how great Tyron has played when he's on the field, but no one's been better than Sewell this year at left tackle. He's that good, and so that's going to be a challenge for Micah. You're talking about the pass rusher. That's certainly good. They don't give up many sacks. And so that's going to be a challenge. So you have to stop the run for sure. But that's the focus. And the Cowboys understand, and we talked to Osa, they have to stop the run if they want to play on the pass. And that's been the talk all year. I don't think they're willing to give up rushing yards. They know they need to stop because teams will do like Buffalo did and run 49 times if you don't stop them. 49 times.
Especially this team.
Yeah, and they will run the ball down your throats if you don't stop them. So they have to bow up and stop. It's interesting, we talk about the size, and at linebacker, and it's really on the defensive line to get it done because you don't have the size of linebacker to bow up, and all those bend backs and all the other stuff. They're gonna have to run to the football, but you need those linebackers.
I was gonna say, but when you're playing at home and you feel comfortable and the turf is fast, they'll come out and they'll run to the ball, and they'll gang tackle, and they'll do all that kind of stuff. The question will be, will they be able to score early enough to the end?
Not faster than Gibbs.
No, but, they'll get hats there.
They got to get hats there.
Because you want your boy to throw the ball, Jared Goff.
They're at home.
And they play well at home.
The Cowboys put up points at home. They're going to put up 30-plus points at home. They are a 6-point favorite in this game here. So there are some positives trending towards what's going on here. Detroit 11-5, Cowboys 10. Detroit 11-4.
So got a chance to be the team with
as McCarthy said, yes, they're the next team. But let's be honest, this is the biggest challenge the Cowboys have faced at home this year. They're the best team the Cowboys have faced at home this year.
Over Philadelphia?
Over Philadelphia. You see the way Philadelphia's playing right now? Yeah. I would definitely say so. Don't let the records fool you. This Eagles team, they should have gave the Cowboys a Christmas gift on Sunday. They almost blew that game against the Giants.
They tried.
Seattle came out there and battled them pretty good.
Yeah, I know they played. I'm just telling you, this Detroit team, what they have and where they're playing may be the best team, and that's what the Cowboys looking at. This is the biggest challenge we face. So, yes, you played well at home, you won at home, but you can't rest on your laurels. You're going to have to go down and get it done because this ain't no layup on Saturday.
No, not a layup. They trying to get the number 2 seed in the conference.
Number 1 seed.
Well, yeah, because they beat San Francisco, right?
No, they didn't beat San Francisco, but San Francisco drops a game, and they have the Rams at the end. And if they win out, they have a chance for the number 1 seed. That's a fact.
Let's hit a break here. If the Cowboys win against Detroit, does it change any narratives or anyone's mind? How will we view this win? Do it with Jacques Taylor, Clarence Hill, Newey Scruggs, Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Don't put off getting your oil changed, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. There's no appointment needed and no waiting room. Yep, you heard that correctly. Take 5 is so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's fast, friendly and simple service at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. I'm Newey Scruggs, got the author Jean-Jacques Taylor. Hopefully a lot of folks bought the Coach Prime book for Christmas and gave it out to people there. And we've got also an author as well. He's Clarence Hill, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. And the proud parent of a Rice cheerleader was at the game last night, First Responder Bowl over at Ford Stadium. Don't know why they didn't have the end zones changed up. Still said SMU Mustangs. I thought you were supposed to change it around for.
They didn't have the paint. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's a permanent paint. That's permanent paint on SMU's field. It's not the Cowboys. They don't change up. It's permanent paint. Okay. Permanent marker.
I didn't know.
It's not.
They
it's
advertising for
not disappearing ink. That's permanent marker there. Okay.
Detroit has won the North, 11-4. Right now, the number 2 seed. Three seed here in the playoffs. So if the Cowboys win, favored by 6, this is a quote-unquote good team, a division winner. Will it change the hearts and minds of Cowboy fans if this is a win Saturday night?
No, because it just continues to fit the narrative of you win at home, but you can't beat a good team on the road. I mean, we all know that. And the problem here is that you don't give yourself the benefit of the doubt because you haven't won on the road. And when you get to the playoffs, and it's always about the playoffs. It's always been about the playoffs since the beginning of the season. We knew the Cowboys would get to the playoffs. Of course, it's what they're going to do in the playoffs. The best way to win in the playoffs is to have home games. It's fun. It's a crazy stat, and it's been looked at as an indictment against this team. The Cowboys have not won back-to-back playoffs games or 2 playoff games, road playoff games, since 1975. 1975. You know why? Because when they win the Super Bowl, they was always at home.
Right.
Okay? They didn't have to go on the road. It's tough to win on the road. And that 75 they were a wild card team. And so they had to go that road. But the Cowboys have not generally been a while. They won the division. They've had home games. It is tough to win on the road. And so when you look at the road, the journey the Cowboys have to go on to finally get back to the Super Bowl, it's largely going to be in the road. You have to win not just 1, maybe 2 playoff games on the road. That's why the narrative won't change. Yes, you win at home, but what you going to do on the road? Because that's what you're going to do in the playoffs.
Ain't nothing going to change to the playoffs. But we knew that when the season started.
Yeah, it's always, but you made it tough on yourself. If you win one of these games, you have a chance at least 1, 2 home games. Things happen, like what Baltimore did to the 49ers. And the 49ers still got the Rams go. You want to put yourself in a position to be a division champs and possibly be the number 1 seed. I mean, all that was 2 weeks ago. All that was on the table. Before you go to Buffalo and lose, and before you go to Miami and lose on the road.
They can still win the division. All is not lost. There's still possibilities and hopes.
No,
yes.
It is. But
it's just slim and none.
Slim's all you need, right?
There's possibility, but you asked about the changing of the narratives, and that's not going to change the narrative. And even if you win the division at this point, you're still guaranteed 1 home game, and then you're hoping that maybe somebody gets upset, but you want to put yourself in the best possible position to win. And the good news is, I don't know if it's the Cowboys in denial or they're taking confidence out of how they played against Miami 1 week after getting that no-showing against Buffalo.
Gotcha.
The way they battled back 2 scores down in the 4th quarter to come back and take the lead. And that drive that Dak had, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Cowboys had held on defense and win that game, we would be talking about that 17-play drive, Dak throwing a touchdown pass on Jalen Ramsey to win that game and bring them back. You know, we would be talking about the guts and the moxie and the leadership and all the other stuff. But all that's lost because they couldn't hold them on the other end. But from an offensive standpoint, they are taking confidence and pride in what they do, how they battle back. Defensively, they held the highest scoring offense in the league to 5 field goals, 1 touchdown. Yeah. You know, so there were things there you can feel good about. But at the end of the day,
the defense didn't hold them down.
You are what your record says you are. They still didn't win on the road. They still didn't beat a good team on the road. But, you know, maybe this is something they can use for fodder in the playoffs. We'll see.
So we're talking about Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, the whole vanishing act for 2 quarters.
You know, I think more was made up than what it was.
Okay.
You know, and that's sort of, you know, Lamb's a receiver, and I love Lamb. You know, he kind of, you know, was strange. They didn't do nothing to me. Well, they was doing something to Dak.
Well, Dak didn't have no time.
Right.
I can't find
they were backed up. Yeah, they were doing something to Dak, okay? You know, it wasn't just like, I'm not trying to throw the ball to you. They were doing something to Dak. The time wasn't there. A lot of three. You know, the offense was not in a rhythm at that point. And give Miami credit. But it wasn't, you know, the Cowboys winning the game want to get the ball to CeeDee. They ended the game get the ball to CeeDee. They wasn't not trying to throw the ball to CeeDee.
Well, you know, Dak got pressured. I think on 42% of his throws. I think during that stretch of the second and third quarter, they only had 21 offensive plays because they couldn't sustain any drives. Why couldn't they sustain any drives? Because Dak was running for his life on almost every drop back. And so you're going to miss receivers. You're going to make bad decisions. You're going to make bad throws when you got somebody on your butt.
Yeah, and I think the bigger problem, and it's continued to be the bigger problem, is the lack of the run game. You know, they you know,
can't run it when they want to.
You can't run it when you want. You can't run it when you need to. And the opening drive of the game, you know, we can talk about the end of the game what the defense didn't do. The opening drive of the game, it was right there on full display. Not having a hammer at the goal line, you know, because you know we talked to Tony about it today. You know, how do you not get in? You know, everybody wants to point out Hunter and fumbling. He shouldn't have fumbled. It was horrible fumble, all of that, but Tony Pollard had a walk-in score.
What did he say? Because I have a theory.
He said that he should have went wide. He should have kept going wide. Well, he said he should have kept.
The question is, why did he cut back?
He thought he was in, but the problem is when he cut back, he didn't cut back with power.
No, he
cut back, stood up like he was going to walk in instead of, you know, and obviously, you know, there was some junk there, you know, because you had Ferguson was there blocking and all the other stuff, which actually he ran into Ferguson, you know, which helped the defense stop from getting in the zone, which is my point. If you trust your speed, your speed back, you run wide, it's just you and the defensive back. Either you outrun him to the corner or you cut back on him and you have the leverage. At that point, because Jake Ferguson said you have no leverage, and you and then you didn't get low, you know, and turn and go down, and you just tried to one in straight up, which you have no power. But again, we talked about not having a hammer at the goal line, so that was an issue.
Tony Pollard on the franchise tag this year, $10 million.
He's gonna be on the franchise tag next year.
Is he back with the Cowboys next year?
Why?
Well, not at that money, and it depends on the price. I mean, you know, obviously you're gonna go get a back, possibly. We still need another back, but if he's cheap, and if he's 1 year removed from that injury, he may have his speed back. He might be that guy. He may not. He may go back to his former role of being the change of pace guy and not the lead dog. You know, so there's conversations to be had.
If you talk about disappointing Cowboys, he's near the top of the list. And he's a good dude and all that stuff, but if you talk about expectation and performance, he's at the top of the list for most.
Well, I mean, it goes back to like last year. You get rid of Amari Cooper, and you put all your hopes into Michael Gallup, give him money, coming off an injury, and it was a huge disappointment, a huge mistake. You know, same way, you get rid of Zeke, and not that Zeke was on Amari Cooper's level, but you promote Tony to number one, you give him number one money, give him the franchise tag, and he is not giving you a return on that investment.
This is true.
So, and this is just me.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
If I get Tony Pollard at 5, and I go get somebody else.
You don't like Rico Dowdle? You want somebody else?
They don't like Rico Dowdle.
I mean, Rico's okay. He's just a guy. I mean, there are plenty of backs in the league. There's so many teams got so many different backs who are getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, you can draft one, you free agent one.
Right. I said there's we know in rounds 2, 3 there's going to be some people available. But you can go that way. Hey, Saquon Barkley will be free. There's going to be people free. There's going to be people free that you could, and then go back to what Skip Pete had always talked about, which is, hey, Tony Pollard in a timeshare is what you want. Him being the lead.
He compared Tony to Felix Jones so many times, and nobody was listening.
Well, that's because Felix Jones was so bad.
No, but he was saying he's there in those doses. He's your change of pace guy. He's not your every down guy.
And when did people get really frustrated with Felix? When they tried to make Felix the number one guy.
When he showed up looking like Uncle Felix?
And then they told him to put on some weight.
He always looked like Uncle Felix. Stop it. He was an old-looking guy.
That's where
Love you, Felix,
it's almost. So have the Cowboys repeated that mistake? The Felix mistake?
I don't think they repeat.
He was better than Felix ever was.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily repeating the mistake. I just don't think that they reinforced their decision. And we talked all offseason about getting help, getting the hammer. They could have went and got other backs that were free, and to help supplement that. And that's what they didn't do.
And I don't think Zeke is that guy. And as much as I love Zeke, Zeke is still averaging whatever he's averaging in New England. So, I think it was what you said, which is they needed to go get another legitimate runner, and then we pair him up. But, I was down with Tony. I think, but it ain't my job to know that, he had this injury, and it's going to take him this long to get back.
But everybody knew that. It's just like, who didn't know? How do you not know?
Right.
Tony told us last week he didn't feel himself until last week. It's like he wasn't, everybody, he's fine. He admitted last week at the start of the season he did not feel like himself. Of course, they're not going to say that publicly.
Correct.
But trainers, doctors, the Cowboys should know he's not going to be himself to start the season. And the running game struggled from how long?
And based off what you saw from Michael Gallup, let's stop trying to count on guys being healthy after.
Okay, so check
big
this
injuries.
out. As I take this very quick exit rant, Trayvon Diggs ain't going to be Trayvon Diggs at the start of next year.
Okay, and that
plan for that.
No, but time out. The difference here, and he may or may not, because you're usually better. The difference here is he got hurt early in the season.
No, it doesn't matter.
It does matter. Time matters. Time matters.
No,
time
it matters, but it don't matter. Meaning, yes, he can play, but if you think you finna get the Trayvon Diggs you've been used to the first year after the ACL, it's not going to happen.
No, but what I'm saying is you have a better chance of being closer to yourself because the time and when he got hurt. He got hurt in October. You really have a whole full year. Tony got hurt in January. Gallup got hurt in January. And so those are big factors in them being ready.
And then I'll add back on what you said here and put it into this to you, Jacques. You'll have Diggs back. You'll have Bland back. I would be from the Cowboys looking at trying to bring Gilmore back.
He 34, dog. He can come back at the right number. He's 34, dog.
Well, that's a part of the equation as well.
He can come back at the right number because he had a good year. But
and so therefore, I'm not needing. If I can get Gilmore back, I don't need Diggs to come back and be that guy right out of the gate. That's all I'm saying. As I'm looking at that. That's all.
Yeah, no, and that's something to be talked about. And I would bring Cooks back too.
Yeah. Oh, you have to. Cooks is coming back. There may be somebody else.
Not they figured that. We already know that.
Yeah, he's been a perfect number 2 receiver at the slow start, but
they figured out how to get down.
Well, and that final drive, that's Cooks against Jalen Ramsey. Dak. People don't challenge Jalen Ramsey, but that potentially would have been a game-winning throw, game-winning touchdown. Camping on Cooks against Jalen Ramsey.
Great throw, great catch, great route.
All of that, and so that's what you get when you got a veteran.
Gallup back.
Stop it.
That's what he was saying. We're not even having that conversation,
You
can say his name.
We said it. Gallup's a great dude, but he won't be here next year. This is dollars and cents production conversation.
It is, and it's not just the Cowboys; it's all across the league.
You got Tyron Smith. You got the same question on Tyron Smith. He's out of contract, and when he's been on the field, he's been great. But he's missed 4 games, and how much do you pay for that? If you want to bring him back next
this year, roster spots for
The problem is that I hear you, and at some point, I can't take a chance on you being there for 14 games when you missing the most important games. And again, maybe he's back for the playoffs next year. What if he's not even back for the playoffs? So we can piecemeal it until you're not available, and it didn't. Being smart financially don't mean a hill of beans if you ain't on the field in the playoff time.
No, you have to. I mean, that's how you add. That's two different questions. The other question is, do you just even want to deal with that?
Right.
Well,
or are you the swing type?
And this is also comes into the whole problem of Matt Waletzko not developing, Josh Ball not developing. That you're sitting here having to have this conversation now because these two guys you've taken have shown you absolutely.
I can't get mad at fourth-round picks that don't develop.
Yeah. I mean, I can
get mad at first and second.
The idea that fourth-round picks will come in and be your left tackle is folly.
Right now, they're not even your swing tackle.
Right. No,
you can be disappointed by that, but it's a fourth-round pick.
But at the end of the day, we're talking about next year. You need a guy, an anchor that you can count on. That's going to be a top-level player, not just a swing, just a guy.
Is next year when you go to Tyler Smith and say, now is the time?
Yeah, I mean,
it's easier to find a guard than a tackle. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And they looked at drafting the guard this year, and you can get a good guard in the second round, third round.
He shouldn't mind because that's where the money is.
All right. So speaking of people not money, if the Broncos release Russell Wilson,
you gonna bring him to Dallas? What you asking for?
Got Trey Lance. Because the Broncos have benched him because they don't want him to get injured and have to be on the hook for the salary. So. If the Broncos release him,
and again, that's where I'm piggyback on that, which is frustrating to me, because everybody always talks about we're gonna do whatever it takes to win. We do whatever it takes to win, when we all know that money drives most decisions in the NFL, and Denver still has an outside shot at the playoffs. They're never eliminated, okay? But you're benching Russell Wilson for money, not for trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
You're benching Russell Wilson, and he's played okay. Look at his numbers. He has good numbers. He's still a capable quarterback, but you're benching him for money, not doing what's best for the team to win right now.
No, because you don't want him to get hurt and you be on the hook for that.
All of that, but you're selling to your fans. You're still selling,
Your tickets ain't changed.
The tickets, all of that.
Your concession's still high.
You still have an outside chance at the playoffs. But you're benching him because you're trying to save money in the future.
No, we did it in Dallas last year with the Mavericks. We're going to bench Luka and everybody else the last two games because we want this lottery pick. And they had a chance to go to the playoffs. It's the same thing. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but it happens everywhere.
This is sports. This is what's going to cost them if they cut him after that's
a lot of typo 1st. That fold, man.
$124 million in salary for the Broncos to Russell Wilson.
They still got to pay that, right?
It will cost. That's what they paid. It will cost them $35.4 million in 2024 dead cap money. Then in 2025, the cap dead money will be $49.6 million. It cost them Noah Fant, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, a 2022 first-round pick, which is Charles Cross, a 2022 second-round pick, which is Boye Mafe, a 2022 fifth-round pick, which was Tyreek Smith, a 2023 first-round pick, which was Devin Witherspoon, and a 2023 second-round pick, which was Derek Hall. And Russell Wilson has played for Denver for 2 seasons, and his record is 11-19. This would qualify as a bad trade.
Mara Cooper trade don't look so bad now.
Oh, it's still bad.
I said don't look so bad. There's a lot of moving parts to that trade because that's also what happens when you hire the wrong head coach. And you fired a dude after 1 year because he wasn't really qualified. And you did all this to prop that dude up because he'd been riding Aaron Rodgers' coattails and you trying to prop him up. Oh, let's go get another veteran to prop him up because he can't coach up Drew Lock. And so that's what you get. And so if you look at the bigger picture, yeah, there was a bad trade, but why? And then Sean Payton come on and say, y'all trade all that for this dude? He can't even run my offense.
The wildest part when you think about it. So,
I don't even like him.
Seattle got off good by trading Russell Wilson. But they're also the organization that gave the Jets 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams. Safe. But yet nobody was willing to give up 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Washington, Carolina. It's a very weird league.
No, it was collusion. It was collusion. There's no question it's collusion.
You're right.
We don't want to give up another contract like they gave Deshaun Watson. We don't. That was clearly collusion. There's no way when Atlanta and the Raiders and saying that we have no interest in Lamar Jackson,
New Orleans,
all of them,
and he worked the 2 first.
It makes
the 2 first.
It makes no sense, and you see what a good quarterback is worth and what he does for the team. But I and it's funny because getting back to the Cowboys and Dak, look at Dak's numbers compared to Lamar Jackson.
I thought we wasn't doing that.
I haven't compared them.
Look at them. Compare them. Dak has a better quarterback rating, throw more touchdown passes, throw for more yards. What Lamar has is the number 1 defense in the league. And what set the tone against San Francisco, that defense.
So if I'm listening to you, you're telling me that defense would be the difference for.
There's certainly a difference in these 2 games, and it's funny because
that's what the Romo fans will continually say about his whole career.
I agree, and we came into this season thinking the Cowboys' biggest hope to break that gap was because they finally had a championship caliber defense. I want to run the ball, protect my defense. Coming off the year when Dak had a league-high interception, the focus on offense, run the ball, limit mistakes, because the defense is going to carry you.
But what changed? Injuries.
The reality. Why you can say injuries.
You lost a Pro Bowl corner.
Okay. The bottom. At the end of the day,
lost starting linebacker, and then a linebacker you thought could end up being a good backup and Overshown. So you lost.
At the end of the day, right now, the best part of this team is the offense.
Okay.
And
even funnier than that is it was supposed to be a running team,
right?
And a running team is the worst part of the offense.
If the Cowboys have any hope of taking that next step, is going to be led by Dak Prescott in offense. With CeeDee Lamb, the offense is the best part of this team. When the Cowboys have been winning because the offense has set the tone, get the lead to help the defense out, not the other way around. It's led by the offense
because
and the quarterback.
Sports is fluid.
No doubt. But I'm just saying though that because everybody looks at. Just look at the Dak's numbers are still amazing. The Buffalo
he had a good game the other day.
Right,
252 touchdowns.
I'm just like I said, if they win that game, we're talking about what he did to bring them back on the road in Miami, 17-play drive, throw the touchdown pass. If the defense could hold them. And ultimately they couldn't do it.
To me, that was the disappointing thing because when you look at the game,
yes,
they held Miami under their total yardage average, under their point average, under their passing average, under their rushing average, under the everything.
And when they needed to, when
with
they needed
3:27 left, I gave you the lead.
You're right, but at the same time, we could still even take this back to the offense. What's the difference in the game? The difference in the game was a turnover.
No, I agree, but
and so had they done their part as the offense and done their part, then maybe we're not even
no doubt. And they let them down. Again, we talked about the running game not get it done down close, but you're asked to do what the game asked you to do at that moment in time.
Sure.
And so what happened in the first quarter is over. It's the fourth quarter. Okay.
Right.
The offense has scored points, put you back in the lead.
It's 3:27 left.
So
the length of the field.
We can't talk to the defense about what the offense did in the first quarter. We only talk about what we're asking you to do now.
You're right.
Do what the game asks you to do at that moment in time.
But we always talk about in these games the turnover battle.
I agree, but
matters.
that was
past. And when you lose, right, I hear what you're saying, but still, ultimately, all these things. When you start looking at the game stats. When you lose the turnover margin, you're basically going to lose.
No doubt.
And then you're trying to win on the road against a good team.
And piggybacking on that.
They stopped them at the 5
and
no points.
And piggybacking on that, what's also a difference in most of these losses, especially on the road, is they have gotten no turnovers on defense. The defense that prides itself.
2 games with no turnovers. Yes.
Go back to San Francisco game. Go back to the Arizona game. Go back to the Philadelphia game. The 5 losses on the road, the defense has gotten no turnovers.
I had 1 sack the other day.
And they're not getting to the quarterback. So that's what the defense prides itself on. So, they lost the turnover battle, but where are you contributing to that?
See, that's why this was a quality team loss. I mean, you can point to everybody.
Where you contributing to that. And so the difference here, go back to the Philadelphia game. In Philadelphia, the ball was on the ground 3 times. They didn't get it 1 time.
Correct.
San Francisco got none. Arizona. I mean, you had opportunities. You have to make your own opportunities. And so I'm saying is that you need everybody to pull their weight. But it's just interesting to me that we Dak is suddenly out of the MVP conversation, and Lamar has done great, and he is great. He's a special player, but he also has the benefit of a defense that hit San Francisco in the mouth.
Well, the Bullets got bullied.
and forcing 4 turnovers and all the other stuff, which certainly was the biggest difference in that game.
If Clarence Hill had an MVP vote, who would he give it to right now?
At this point, you have to give it to Lamar. I mean, I think you have to give it to Lamar because they have because
he's
of the record.
Been phenomenal, and their team is great.
And Lamar, because that's how it goes. I don't. It's muddled. So it's funny because I've been thinking about this. What if Lamar loses to Miami on Monday or this week? I don't know when they play, Sunday or Monday.
It's the context.
Huh?
I think it's the context.
Then Miami has home field advantage. Miami's in first place. I think Tyreek and you got the quarterback there. I think Purdy's out. You got McCaffrey.
If it's a shootout, and Lamar puts up points, and all of a sudden Tyreek Hill dropping bombs on him, and that's why I say I think it's the context.
So I know.
And for Purdy, the context of how you're at home, they got you for 4, national audience, everybody watching. That's the kind of stuff that hurts you.
And they give you a side eye anyway.
But the difference with Purdy is that we already knew he wasn't the best player on the team. He was getting love because he was the quarterback of the team that was the best team. Right. But we knew the the best players on that offense was Debo and McCaffrey.
And that's it's funny. I was talking to Chris Broussard, and he was arguing about Purdy. I was like, he's not the best player on his offense.
I mean, it's like when we was talking about Bland and Micah. Like, okay, we really like Bland, but who the best player on the defense?
Right, and that's and again, and the funny thing, we've all forgotten about Bland's defensive player of the year candidacy. He still has the NFL record for returns of the season, but we've all forgot about that.
And he's actually been playing good again because they ain't been lighting him up.
Right, but we've all forgot about that. Nobody talking about it. He still got an NFL record.
Sports is fluid.
Still got a Cowboys.
I mean, we ain't talking about Tommy. We ain't talking about Tommy Cutlets this week. His 15 minutes came and gone.
That's November. It's Kwanzaa now. It's Kwanzaa now. He was hot at turkey time. Now it's Kwanzaa and he cold.
But what we're talking about is Micah not getting hosed. Micah talked for 20 minutes about the officials and not getting the calls and everything else today.
Yeah, that just inspired everybody to throw some flags this way.
He talked for a long time today about the flags and not getting calls and what he has to do, and he's different. And I'm for no other rushers like me because I run 4.3 and they don't run 4.3, and I'm not getting these calls.
Call Shaq. Ask him how you deal with it. How do you deal with it? It's unfair. Clarence, appreciate you. Let's do it tomorrow.
No problem.
Jock Taylor, let's do it tomorrow. Chris Beam, appreciate you back there. Jazz, Big Will, everybody's a part of it. This is the Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!